What's going on, guys? Hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day. So yesterday, Meta reported its Q3 quarterly earnings, right? And when I woke up, I thought I was having a nightmare because the stock is down 19.6% after hours, after being down 5.5%. So basically, it's down like 26% in one day, right? So what's causing this massive decline? We'll get into the financials, and also I want to give some opinions of my own and also tell you my personal plan with Meta stock, right? So if we take a look at the third quarter results, you can see that revenue is down 4%. So that is kind of expected because of the FX headwinds. But the big one was income from operations, right? Down 46%. That is absolutely insane, right? So that is something even I didn't see coming up, right? And operating margins is down like 16%. So if you take a look at net income and also diluted earnings per share, same story there, down 52%, down 49%, right? But something that was quite surprising was they are still able to grow daily active people and monthly active users and all that, right? So you can see, I'm not going to go through it one by one. If you want to go through it, pause the video, right? But you can see low single digit growth. So when they have 3 point something billion users, right, I would expect them to either not grow or grow at like 1% or maybe even lose consumers, right? I think the most likely outcome is actually losing consumers, right? So let's take a look at the CFO outlook. That is the kind of worrying part, and then I'll look at the free cash flow, right? So I'm not going to go through this in too much detail because I'm sure other YouTubers which are more popular have already done this, right? So we expect fourth quarter 2022 earnings, revenue to be in the range of 30 to 32.5 billion. Our guidance assumes foreign currency will be at approximately 7% headwind, right? So I think this is the big one because it's continuing to price in that the US dollar is going to strengthen, right? So we really do have to see about that, right? Because US might be going into a recession, or their rate hikes might be slowing down, right? So let's see what happens there. So on the approach we are taking towards our 2023 budget, we are making significant changes across the board to operate more efficiently. We are holding some terms flat in terms of headcount, shrinking others, and investing headcount growth only in our highest priorities, right? As a result, we expect the headcount by the end of 2023 to be approximately in line with the third quarter of 2022 levels, right? So this is not something I like to see because actually I want them to be cutting headcount, right? Because they way overhired. And then the other time Mark Zuckerberg came out and said, oh, we need to be more efficient, need to be leaner, but still their headcount is going to be the same as 2022. You got to be kidding me, right? So we have increased scrutiny on all terms of operating expenses. However, though these moves follow a substantial investment cycle, so they will take time to play out in terms of our overall expense trajectory, right? So this is not surprising because I don't think overnight big companies like this, you're not going to be able to fire or even like restructure overnight. So that is not surprising. But again, I would like to see them cutting instead of just holding it steady, right? So we expect 2022 total expenses to be in the range of 85 to 87 billion. So this is updated from their prior outlook of 85 to 88 billion, right? So 1 billion off the top there. Maybe that's a bit of a relief for us, right? So they finally know how to cut expenses. But total expenses for 2023 will be 96 to 101 billion. And this is a company with a market cap of 280 billion after this adjustment kicks in for this 20%, right? So you can see currently it's at 350. After this 20%, it'll be at 200 something billion, right? So it's about a third of your whole company in expenses, right? So I think Meta is really like high mode and things like that, free cash flow machine, right? But honestly, they need to keep their expenses in check, right? This is like the guy that, you know, makes a lot of money, works for a hedge fund, makes let's say $10 million a year, but spends $10.5 billion, right? In this case, not that bad yet, but they're spending like maybe $9.9 million of their money, right? So we expect slight majority of our 2023 expense dollar growth to be driven by operating expenses, with the remaining growth coming from the cost of revenue. Right? So yeah, not too much to see here anymore. So I want to look at the free cash flow, right? So that is the thing that's really important to me. So when we take a look at free cash flow, right, actually this quarter's free cash flow is basically zero, right? And that's really concerning, right? Because one of my theses for Meta was that they are going to pump out so much free cash flow from the core business to just buy back shares, right? And currently, they're not doing that, and their expenses are really, really out of control, right? So if you're enjoying the video so far, do help me smash up the like button, hit subscribe, and also hit the bell button and press on all, right? So this will really help out the channel, and also watch till the end, right? Because obviously you don't want to miss any important information. So what's my outlook for IG Reels, right? Because this is something that is really taking off, competing with TikTok, because TikTok did all these short form videos. Now IG Reels are really focusing on that, right? But I have one issue with IG Reels, which I don't know, maybe it's a minor issue, but I think it's quite a major issue, right? So I've watched a lot of IG Reels, and like literally 8 out of 10 times, the music is not in sync with the video, or the audio is not in sync with the video, right? And that is really, really bad, right? Because this is actually their core business that they should be focusing on, right? And Oculus should be like their basically side project, right? But instead, they have put all their focus, all their talent in Oculus, and their main business seems to be deteriorating, right? Facebook are ridden with bugs, and Instagram Reels, something which is supposed to take off, is also like has this huge bug, right? Which I think is a major deal, right? So maybe let me know below, right? Am I being too butthurt? Should I just close the app and open it again? But it constantly happens, right? So I think that's quite bad, right? So the next thing, on the outlook for the stock and also the company, so I think this Facebook has become a cyclical stock, right? And a cyclical stock is a stock whose performance follows the overall economy, right? Rising when it grows and dropping when it declines, right? So when we look at the stock, right, for the past 10 years, we can see that this was a growth story, right? But no longer, right? Because after you see this has become a cyclical stock, right? Because it's become so big, right? 3.7 billion users. How can you not depend on the economy to grow and also to make money, right? So it's just impossible. And the issue with this is when the recession comes, this is not a as recession resilient company as I thought it was when I bought the stock, right? So I only recently bought the stock, so I have some time to change my mind, right? After I bought a bit of the stock, so now I can maybe begin to see things more clearly. So I think they've become a cyclical stock, not immune to the overall economy. And I think all these huge companies, right? We're talking about Google, Amazon, all this depends on more on the economy than they used to, right? Because last time, there's a recession, Google can still grow, Amazon can still grow, Microsoft can still grow. But currently, when there's a recession, they are recession resilient, right? But they're not immune to the recession anymore, right? So what's my plan with the Facebook stock, right? And you can see that I Google stock so much that it asked me for planned stock, right? So that's a bit funny. So what's my plan for Facebook stock, or should I call it Meta stock, right? I think I'm going to still buy after this. Maybe if it hits like $100, I'll be buying some shares, right? But I'll be slowing it down really very much, right? Because I think you'll still have a chance to buy at this sort of prices for the next maybe 1 to 2 years as the US economy hits a recession or whatever it is. So as they go through their problems, then when the economy comes back, right, I think this is going to come back with the economy. So Facebook and Instagram are still, I think, by far the best platforms to advertise your business on, right? So I think Instagram is taking the lead over the old Facebook, but I think since Meta owns both of them, it doesn't matter that much, as long as they can capture it on either one of the apps, right? But I wouldn't be in too much of a hurry to buy it, right? As I said, right, it's, I think, quite dependent on how the economy does nowadays, right? Compared to previously, when they have less users, they can continue growing the users, they can continue growing their statistics, right? Now they have no longer that option. So I think they are maturing company, and that is why I was looking forward to this company buying back shares, right? Because they are already maturing. But apparently Mark Zuckerberg thinks that it's not his time to go yet. And granted, he's still very young, right? So he wants to invest in the metaverse and all of that. One thing I do really not like about the metaverse, and this is coming from Monesh Prabhai, so it's not an original thought, right? But I think that, companies that have all these breakthroughs, right, they invest very little in all these things, right? I think Facebook is investing way too much for this kind of projects, and hoping that they can compress the time, right? Which I'm not sure whether they can, right? Because maybe the tech is just not there yet, the chips that are needed are not there yet, or things like that, right? So we'll have to look going forward. I would like to see them have their free cash flow come back so they can buy more shares, because the shares are clearly very undervalued, right? But at the same time, I can't say how undervalued it is, because Mark Zuckerberg has all his ambitions, and I don't know whether he's going to go crazy or like not know how to limit spending when it comes to the metaverse project, right? So what's my conclusion and what would I like to see, right? My conclusion is that, first of all, Meta definitely needs to limit their headcount and spending. Number two, they need to focus back a bit on their core business, right? Because if their core business is doing fine and then they're investing the proceeds, it's fine, right? But their core business is not doing as well as it could, right? If they just tweak it a bit. Speaking about the Instagram audio issue and bugs on Facebook, right? So third, it's become a cyclical stock for sure, right? And fourth, this is going to be a company where you need to eventually sell, right? Not those companies where you can buy and hold forever, right? So I would argue that no companies can be buy and held forever. But as you can see, Warren Buffett has a track record of buying some companies and not selling them for 20, 30 years, right? Which is what we hope to do with our companies. But at this point in time, I don't think Meta Platforms are one of those companies, right? So that's about all I wanted to share today. If you did enjoy the video, do help me smash up the like button, hit subscribe, and also hit the bell button. So comment below also, right? What do you think of Meta stock? Is it going to go bankrupt? Is it going to go to zero? So do leave me your opinions. I'd love to see that, right? So yeah, with that being said, have a fantastic day ahead and peace out.